మిత్రులారా, బంధువులారా, సోదర సోదరీమణులారా, వనక్కము స్వాగతము టు South Asia Maps Education Channel, Intellectual Kshatriyas Channel. Your presenter Dr. J. Reddy, J. Tirupati Reddy, Joggari Tirupati Reddy. Mitrunam, today we are continuing our, these are the rice grains, this is the chessboard. The rice grains on the chessboard series, that is essentially the exploration of what is called exponential growth compounding, which is generally not understood by the humans. Human intuitiveness fails to understand what are the implications of compounding exponential growth, that is putting the rice grains, wheat grains on the chessboard, doubling for every square. There are 64 squares. Start with 1, make it 2, next square 4, next square 5. How many grains you have to put in the last 64th square, and how many grains it will have in the entire chessboard at that time. If you take a 1 kilogram of rice, will it fit? If you take like a 1 bag of rice, will it fit? If you take like harvest the rice grains in the Godavari Mata Delta, like in a 10 acres of the land, will it fit? This is the intuitiveness we'll understand. Excuse me. Before that, you have to understand the very big numbers. What is meant by kilo, mega, giga, tera, peta, exa? These are the standard metric systems, but the standard dictionary words are million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion. In Bharat, India, there is also two more numbers, lakhs and crores. After this presentation, you will get a very great clarity. You have to understand these numbers very clearly in all the future presentations you will be exploring. And I'll be showing these figures also, but if you pay attention to this, you will get a very good articulation. ఈ పెద్ద నంబర్లు అంటే మిలియన్స్, బిలియన్స్, ట్రిలియన్స్, లాక్స్, క్రోర్స్ ఎలా కాంప్రహెండ్ చేసుకోవాలి? చదరంగం పైన గోధుమ గింజలు, రైస్ గింజలు పెట్టుకుంటూ పోతే ఎన్ని గింజలు 64th స్క్వేర్లో పెట్టాలి అనే దానిపై మీకు స్పష్టమైన అవగాహన వచ్చేటట్టు మీ భవదీయుడు జొగ్గారి తిరుపతి రెడ్డి ఈ ప్రెజెంటేషన్లో చెబుతాడు. After this presentation, you will get a great clarity. And all these rice grains series presentations I have posted, these are the ones we are in part 2b. Previously we talked big numbers, overview, millions, billions. Now I have added more with a different perspective, lakh and crore, that is used in South Asian region 2b. And other future presentations I'll be posting are here. You can take a glance at it. Rice grains chessboard. And I have been apart from my standard agriculture, molecular biology, biotechnology, bioinformatics work, last 4 decades I have taken serious interest on that. This channel is essentially to share that information with audience. I have posted around about 700 or so presentations, 2025 February, Mahasivaratri time. For your convenience, I have put them in round about 75 or so playlist. You can pick and choose the choice of your interest, provinces, presidencies, human ecology, demography, agriculture, and so on. South Asia Maps, Jared. Excuse me. If you look at the literature, both these numbers are used interchangeably, and this presentation will give you a great clarity. So this is the standard metric system. Deca, hecta, kilo means it is 1,000, 3 zeros. Then mega means 6 zeros. Giga is 9 zeros. Tera is 12 zeros. Peta 15. P, let's say feta or peta 15. Exa 18. Corresponding numbers for million, mega. So mega and million, they go hand in hand, very easy to remember. Mega, million. Then next is the billion. Like normal population of a district in Bharat will be, there are around about 800 district, or make it 700, there are 1400 million people. That means 2 million people in average districts, the million. Next is the billion, 9 zeros. On the planet Earth, billion. You think if it's a billion B, you just put it like a dot on the top, you become billion is 88 billion people, 8.2 billion people live on the Earth. Very easy to remember. Billion means big number. Humans are big number. Billion, giga. So you can comprehend these two easily. Billion, giga, that is the 9 zeros. 8 billion people are there. Add one more zero, 9 zeros are there. Next, one thing you should always remember is the trillion. The world economy may be around about 110 or so trillion dollars GDP or so. US economy is around about 30 because there are 330 million people. Make it 10%, you'll get 33 or 30. So that is the global trillion economy. Trillion is 12. Again, easy to remember. T is 12 trillion. Again, trillion is tera. Very easy. T and T. So you got all these things very easily here. Remember, like if you remember Mumbai, that is the million billion. That means the Mumbai has maybe 20 million people easy. Bharat has around about 1.4 billion population. So very easy. Mumbai. Or if you want to this way, that is the metric system, remember Mongolia country. That is the mega and giga. So these numbers has to be very commonly used. You can very easily comprehend that. Then trillion means 12 zeros, right? Tera is 12 zeros. Remember, there is a town city called Taipei, that is the capital of the Taiwan, that is the Formosa, that is the Republic of China. There is a mainland China, there are two Chinas. And if you remember Taipei, TPEI, just to adjust the spelling little bit, so you get Tera, Peta, Exa, you can very easily. T is a trillion, trella is 12, then quadrillion is 15, quintillion is 18. How do you remember quadrillion, quintillion? Remember R comes first, T comes later, R, S, T, X, something like that. So 15 zeros, 18 zeros. So metric system here, symbol here, zeros are here. We will not talk about deca or hectares or kilos, so that's not that important. Where does the lakh and crore fit in? Always remember the million. That is the standard international system we use. If you go one step below, that is the lakh. Again, easy to remember. KLM. That is the Kailash Mountains, the lakh and million. Million is above lakh. Then crore is much more above the million. So if your million, below is the lakh, above is the crore. So that's what very easy to remember. So big numbers on the chessboard, including the South Asian system like lakh and crore, we are talking today. Big number over you have a lakh, you have a million, you have crore. Sometimes crore is also spelled like that. Then you have billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion. Here I made the things little easier for you. So these, the ones I have put the strike mark is 6 zeros. Remember 6 zeros is a million, that is the standard one. There are 8,200 million people on the planet Earth today. So we have a million here, 6 zeros. And if you take one, if you chop out 1 zero, then 5 zeros is the lakh. You have 5 zeros. Million is 6 zeros. Crore is 7 zeros. That means the population of Bharat is 1400 million, means that is 14,000 lakhs or 140 crores. Very easy. So the billion means 9. That means we added 3 more zeros. This part 3 more zeros. Trillion is T is 12. That means 12 illion. You can say trillion. So 6 and 6 is the 12 here. So trillion is 12. That is the Tera. Then the next uncommon numbers are Peta and Exa. Remember, this is Taipei, Tera, Peta and Exa. QuadriLLion is 15, Quintillion is 18. So you have a 6, 6, 6 here. Let me. You have 6 here, 6 here, 6 means 18. Quintillion is 18. That means at the in the chessboard finally you can put 18 followed by 18 zeros. Easy to remember. 18 quintillion grains in the entire board. Remember, the last part contains almost half of the ones before, same number. The last square you will put 9 followed by 18 zeros. Quintillion rice grains. So that is exa. Sextillions generally not used. I put it here for completeness, 21 numbers. So Mongolia, that is the million, that is the mega and giga. Taipei, that is Tera, Peta, Exa. If you take Mumbai, that is the million and billion, and you continue the same. How do you comprehend all these things? Very easily. So I have put here the planet Earth like a, this is a 0. Again 0, dot, 0, one top of the other, that makes 8. There are 8 billion humans on the planet Earth. 8.2 billion, but we round it up to 8 billion humans on the Earth. 8 billion humans means 8, excuse me, 8,000 millions. That means 800 crores. That means 80 followed by 20, that is the lakhs. How many rice grains are present on the whole chessboard is again, if you remember this 8, these are humans, these are the rice grains, add just 1 in front of it. Now you got the 18. Add 18 zeros in front of it. That is 1 billion here, billion here, billion, billion. That means 18 BB. That is 18 followed by 18 zeros are the number of the rice grains you can add in the whole chessboard, the entire board. The last square just is the 9 billion billion. That is the 9 quintillion, 9 hexagrams. Global economy 2025 projected is $115 trillion. Yes, dollars. Among which USA is 30. How do you remember? USA has 333 million people. Make it 1/10 of it becomes 33. Round it up to 30. 30 trillion is the global US economy, GDP per capita, GDP country. China is around about 20. So you can remember these things in that way. So the lakhs, millions and crores, by the time you come here, the entire chessboard have 18 followed by 18 zeros, entire board. But this particular 64th square itself will have 9 followed by 18 zeros grains. You see, you are looking at the bottom part of the chessboard. We have top four parts there, bottom four. You have at the square 40, 48, 56, 64. In this last square, you see 9 grains you can put. E means exa, that is the quintillion. Remember, the maximum grains is the exa or quintillion. You won't go more than that. 9 followed by 18 zeros. The just grains on that board, and if you want to calculate the entire grains, you just double it. Entire chessboard 18 followed by 18. This is the exa grains. At this board 56 square, 36 peta grains, that is the quadrillions. In the 48th square, you have 140 trillion, that is the tera grains. And in this 40th square, around about 550 or so giga, that is the billion grains you can put on the planet on the square board. I covered about these in the demography series in a different way to remember the numbers easily by name of the African city and the Niger River, Timbuktu. Timbuktu, that is the thousand and million and billion, and you have put it the quadrillion K and the quintillion T and so on. So you can look at that also. That will give a different perspective. And you have to remember that is on the planet Earth today. There are around about 8 billion people, around about 2020. So, based upon the 8 billion people in the earth, 18 quintillion grains on the chessboard we discussed today, we comprehended. How to remember? Take for example in Andhra Pradesh, Telugu speaking state, these are the population. Take for example the biggest city, 2011 census, Visakhapatnam, Vizag, on the Coromandel coast and Gangasagar, there is 2.8 million people live there. That means 28 lakhs. 28 lakh people live there. And in the Kadapa district, almost more than 250,000 people live there, around about 4 lakhs or so. On the bank of Pinakini Mata River and the Produttur town, there are 250,000 people live there. That is meant 2.1 lakhs, and so you can remember that easily. Entire Andhra Pradesh may have around about 50 million, means 5 crore people, 500 lakh people live there. So in order to remember the US economy is the trillions, the global economy is. So remember this entire figure is million means 6, trillion means again 6 zeros means 12 zeros. That is the GDP of the planet Earth 115 round about 2025, among which United States is 30 trillion, China is round about 20 trillion, Germany, Japan and Bharat is round about 4 or so. That you can remember. So we are talking about the wheat and chessboard problem, the serious, the issue that by understanding this, you can understand the exponential growth, the compounding in the entire series here. Wheat and chessboard, I took the rice and chessboard. So the metric system, the standard metric system, that is we are talking about the mega, giga, tera and peta and exa here. And at the end of, when you go to 64th square, it contains 9 quintillion grains. You see, quintillion 9. Entire chessboard will have 18 quintillion grains, exa, rice grains on the planet Earth. So remember the Taipei, that is the Tera, Peta and Exa. Based upon that, you can remember Tera is a trillion, that is the 12 zeros, Peta is 15. Peta means, remember, Feta 15, Exa means 18. And if you go a little further, if you remember Mongolia, there's the million, mega and giga. Million and Giga is the big, that is the billion. 6 and 12. What did we cover today? Planet Earth contains 8 billion people. Billion is 9 zeros because 8, then put the 9 zeros. And on the chessboard we'll have 18 followed by 18 zeros. 18 zeros is exa, that is quintillion grains on the planet Earth. And that is a very big number. And it is not even comprehensible for most of the people unless you look at the issue seriously. That is the exponential growth, finite environment. Human intuitiveness is very poor to grasp the implications of the exponential growth, that is the compounding. Simple, like 1% growth of population, or 7% standard interest growth, or 18% interest on credit card. Let's say if somebody saved you one varaha at the time Buddha passed away and it collects the standard 7% interest, today we'll have enough money that, let's say there is a bank that maintains and compound it 7%. We have enough money to run the Indian government without any tax for 2-3 years, something like that I read, but you can comprehend that the numbers is not that critical. So the greatest shortcoming of human race is inability to understand the exponential growth. That is the point of discussion, and we will be continuing in our rice grain chessboard issue in the next presentation. We will see what are the actual rice grains and chessboard problem. Mitralara, if you like this series, you can post your comments or any things your suggestions, and if you want, you can bring it to the notice of your friends who have a similar interest like you. And this is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy, South Asia Maps Education Channel. See you later, Mitralara, in the next presentation.